Hello, beautiful souls. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for everybody that joined the Full Moon Healing Circle on a couple days ago because it was amazing. We really transcended space and time, and it's so cool when we can do that. And the message I have today is just know who you are. We are bouncing around between timelines so erratically right now. We're always bouncing around between different timelines based on the thoughts and feelings that we choose in every given moment. But with this eclipse energy and with that Taurus full moon, it's just really activated. And being in Scorpio season, there's a lot of passions coming up, but passions can be not always of our highest best good, if that makes sense. It's what I'm hearing, and we need to choose in every moment how we're feeling. The word empath is used in a sense that's not always correct. We are people who are so highly attuned to energy. A lot of us have created this as a coping mechanism. If we've had caregivers or spouses or whatever that haven't been there, or they've been erratic or unpredictable, we begin to create this unhealthy dependence of reading situations. The thing is, reading situations is awesome because we need to do that as our animal instinct needs to do, in a way that we're placing our limiting beliefs, our trauma onto the situations. We're creating these mindsets around why somebody's upset and we're blaming ourselves. This is what a lot of highly sensitive people do. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. This person's upset at me. Stop doing that. And I'm guilty of it myself. If somebody's doesn't show up the way I'm envisioning it in the moment, the old me used to go down a rabbit hole and blame myself for it and be like, why have I upset this person? You know what? Everything's a mirror for you. And because somebody's showing up in a way, it doesn't mean that you've upset them per se. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That's beyond it. But knowing who you are in that moment and holding yourself as, like, you think of a queen or an empress, they're not going to allow popular opinion to sway what they know about themselves and who they are. They're not going to allow somebody else to show up and make them feel less than worthy. They're not going to show up and be like, oh my gosh, this person's not talking to me, or they're being grumpy. It must be something I did. No, they're going to show up and be like, hey, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. How can I help you? Or if the person is being really rude, just be like, set a loving boundary and be like, don't be like that around me. If you are having a moment, go deal with your moment and don't take it out on me. And this is a lesson I've had to learn. And that's why I'm sharing it, because I would always assume the worst. My son, I see the same thing in him. He's very highly sensitive, as most children are, because they don't have a lot of perception beyond their mind. So understanding that we are the root of everything going on around us, but balancing that with not over analyzing situations. Because what happens is we place our perception, our lens of perception, on a situation. And it may be right, it may be wrong, it doesn't matter. But if we're placing a limiting belief lens of perception on an outside circumstance, on something outside of us, we are actually going to manifest that even more so. So when you're triggered in a moment, you're upset by something, come out of your victim mentality. So first of all, don't blame that person. If you need to pull yourself away or say something, do it. And come back to yourself and your knowing and your worth of who you are as a human, and not allowing other people to show up in less than desirable ways. And when we do this, we also pair that with going in our mind and creating the version of that person that we desire. There's so many different techniques you can use. Instead of going down the rabbit hole of being like, oh my gosh, this person's a jerk, or they're always stubborn, or this or that. It could be a work relationship, a family dynamic. It could be a spouse or a partner or a friend. Let's stop ourselves when we do that. The negative dialogue going on within, let's pull back and be like, okay, a good way to visualize it is there's a technique where you can take that person in your mind's eye. And if they're showing up in a less than desirable way, like there's billions of versions of each and every one of us, as we know. So that version that's showing up is a manifested version that you've welcomed in through manifestation. Not to be a victim of it, but take accountability for us allowing that to happen and become that dynamic. So if you want to envision the person, place your thing in your mind's eye and picture like a house, the front door of a house, and open the door. And the version that you don't like, it's like you're returning it to the house or to the store, and see all these other versions in the house and go choose the one that you want. The one showing up the way you want, the one communicating with you the way you want, the one that's kind and compassionate and understanding and listens to you, whatever those beliefs that are coming up. And then love yourself a little bit more. Be like, I am so worthy. You know, say some little affirmations. I'm amazing. I'm deserving. I am always listened to. Whatever that comes up, those insecurities, work on them. Put some love on them, and don't push them down, and don't go down the rabbit hole of being like, well, so-and-so is this and so-and-so is that, because that's not going to fix anything. As we know, where our attention goes, energy flows, and that's what we create. You have the choice in every moment to shift your mood, to shift your feelings, to shift your state of being. Our thoughts create our feelings. Our thoughts always create our feelings. Our feelings do not create our thoughts. It's our perceptions of the thoughts that we have that create our feelings. So if you reverse engineer, start with the thoughts. Anyway, I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, and thanks for watching. Bye.